Hey, this is Paul here from intralifestyle.com, and today I want to talk to you about how to stop being a victim so that you can take control of your life. Now, if you're watching this video, maybe you have come to the realization that perhaps sometimes in your life you have become the victim of your circumstances, or maybe you know other people in your life that you feel like always play that victim role. Now, even getting to this point in the first place is a big deal because self-awareness is the key to change. And it's very difficult for us to admit sometimes that we're playing a victim, and it is so much easier for us to look outside, to blame other people, to blame the circumstances or the situation, to blame our upbringing, or just look outside of ourselves and point the finger at something else. Because when we do that, it takes away this pain that we have inside, this feeling of shame and guilt or any of the other unwanted emotions. But the only way to true freedom of your emotions and feeling good is by some self-reflection and self-awareness and just being totally honest. Because when we can take a proper look at ourselves in the mirror and look inside and see what we're being a victim of, then we have the power to move forwards from that. Okay, so if you want to know how to stop being a victim and take control of your life, it's important to understand the victim mentality. So the victim mentality is when something happens in our life and we straight away look outside of ourselves and we point the finger and we blame someone else or something else. We blame the circumstances, the situation, or whatever it might be. It's where we don't take personal responsibility for the results in our life. But once we can understand this and we can accept it, then we can start to change. So changing that victim mentality involves some self-reflection. It involves some deep inner work and some self-awareness of your life. So ask yourself some questions. In a previous video, I shared some questions on self-discovery that will help you dig a little bit deeper into yourself and explore some ideas about how you can move forwards. So let's just be clear about one thing here. I understand now that sometimes in life, people do get a short straw. Some people definitely have it worse than others. There's no doubt about that. But there's many people that have been through a lot of pain in their life, been through trauma, have had horrific things happen, and they come out on the other side a much better person. And what they did was they decided to change their life and change their mindset and shift things around. They took responsibility for their actions and for their life. And that is the only way you're ever going to break free from this. Because if we constantly live life in the victim mentality, we're going to be stuck. We're never going to be able to grow. We're never going to be able to move forwards and achieve the things that we truly want because it limits us. Self-acceptance and self-awareness is fundamental in making the changes that you want. A great place to start for self-reflection would be to look at your day-to-day life and look for the areas where you know for sure that you're making excuses. What things do you keep putting off? What stories are you telling yourself about certain things? Whether it's your health and fitness, whether it's your relationships, your career, your finances, whatever it may be, ask yourself and become aware of what are those excuses that you're making. And just be honest with yourself. You don't have to share this with anyone. You can write it down on some paper. You can just think about it. But having that awareness and that self-reflection is going to be massive in the growth that you have moving forwards. Additionally, one of the biggest factors that will be in this is the beliefs that you have about yourself. Because if you truly believe that you're not in control of your life and you truly believe that you're unlucky at times and things happen and you're just in a shit place and it's out of your control, those beliefs need to be assessed. They need to be changed and they need to be looked at. Because if you truly believe that you're not in control of your life and you believe that the circumstances are just the way they are and some people have it better than others and some people are more lucky and things just never go your way, if you have a lot of these limiting beliefs, I guarantee you're going to stay where you are or go backwards. It's not going to help you grow. So examining your beliefs is going to be key in moving forwards And you want to create empowering beliefs that give you optimism, that give you expectation. And when they become so strong and you expect it, it's going to make massive changes for you. And the way you would do this is to just write down, what are your limiting beliefs? Again, what the stories you're telling yourself, different areas of your life. What do you believe about yourself with finances, about relationships or health and fitness? Whichever area you feel like is the biggest struggle for you, start there and examine it. What would be a more empowering belief for you? What's going to make you feel good? What's going to change your thinking so that you can take control of your life? I would also look at the language that you use to yourself on a daily basis. And this is going to be somewhat in alignment with your beliefs, the internal chatter that you have, the conversations you have with other people. What sort of language and what topics and things are you saying and speaking about? Because this is going to influence the internal factors in how you feel and how you see things and your belief system. So you want to start changing that. So essentially what you're doing is you're using your senses and your experience in this physical world to take in information. And then with that information, you've got a story and a meaning that you're attaching to it. And a lot of the times, this just comes from the past. It comes from beliefs and experiences we've had. And then that just becomes the normal for us. Like the example of when someone goes into a new relationship and they just expect it's going to be as bad as the last one or as good as the last one. And it's never going to be the exact same. Everyone is different, but based on experiences and based on that kind of paradigm that's been created, we have these reactions and thoughts and stories around what something means. So we need to just be aware of that so that then we can make those changes moving forwards. But at the end of the day, doing this work is going to be challenging, but it's going to be so rewarding. And when you can come from a place of being able to respond instead of reacting, being able to take responsibility for your actions and look inside and get curious about why things happened a certain way, then we can move forwards. And it doesn't mean that everything that happens in your life is your own fault. Sometimes bad things do happen, but we have a choice in how we respond to it. You know, I think back to when one of my close friends died 10 years ago, and I had so many negative feelings inside of me, and it could have been so easy for me to go a different way, but I decided that I was going to use that as motivation to change my entire life. And I'm so glad that I did. So everything that happens in our life, good or bad, we always have an opportunity. We're always going to have a story and a meaning that we create around it in our head, but we have a choice. And that choice for how you show up in the world and the life that you live is all yours. So if you want to stop being a victim, the first step is to take responsibility and to look inside of yourself. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit the subscribe button and I'll see you soon.